And we welcome you here to the Bowl at Blair Academy for another edition of Blair Academy Athletics here on the Strive Network as the Buccaneers, they host the Rams of Oratory Prep in boys lacrosse. Simon Rose here with you as we get you set for this one. 4-11, 5-10, final game of the Blair Academy boys lacrosse schedule. And we will get into our pregame show before this one faces off. Take a look at the coach's corner. Teddy Wenner, third season. A Bachelor of Science from Army West Point, Associate Dean of Admission as well, Director of Financial Aid. Also a member of the Blair Academy class of 1996. He earned his BS in European History at the U.S. Military Academy at West Point, and he served in the U.S. Army as Field Artillery Officer and Captain from 2000 to 2005. Teddy Wenner serving the country and now serving as the head coach of Blair Academy boys lacrosse. Go through the starting lineup here for the Blair Academy Buccaneers, and we'll just list it out as they get set here. Max Thorsheim will get the start, the sophomore attacker from New Canaan, Connecticut. Patrick Morrison from Lancaster, PA. He'll get the start as well, number 14, the senior. Wyatt Long, the senior as well. He's going to get the start at attack from Hardwick, New Jersey. Thomas Jenkins at midfield. He's a sophomore from Blairstown. Ned Siggety, a senior from Pipersville, Pennsylvania. Also a senior is J.T. Correll. He'll get the start today. Max Pickett, Jake Groves, Kyle Gibson all in there at midfield. And the defense will go Grahowski, Evan Grahowski, Cameron Kurtz, and Jack Saxton. And in goal, Craig Correll, the sophomore from Easton, Pennsylvania. Showers start to drip down on us here at the Bowl at Blair Academy as this one gets underway. We just hope that our equipment stays functional, let's say, during this one as we are out in the elements as well. But we thank you for joining us here as they are getting set to start this one up. Blair Academy and Oratory Prep. Blair coming off a win against Wyoming Seminary. They won 10-9. Now 7 different guys scored in that game. Coach Wenner said that he had really good distribution of wealth in terms of who scored the ball, and that's not something that they've necessarily seen all season long. But it was a good indicator of improvement as they continue on through this season. As you see, the coin toss is taking place at midfield. The courtesy handshake will get us started. It is the third time in 3 years that Oratory Prep and Blair Academy have matched up. And the two teams will go to their respective huddles before they start this one. So we'll take a quick step aside. When we come back, we start it up. Blair Academy and Oratory Prep. You know what? Let's just keep it right here as this one is set to get underway from the Bowl. It was a nice afternoon weather-wise from Blair. And the skies opened up just about a half hour ago. And the rain has picked up a little bit every minute that has passed. So conditions will be a little bit wet turf, I guess. And we'll see if that has any effect on how the two teams play. Natural grass field here at the Bowl on Blair Academy. Last time we saw Blair, they played Scranton Prep. That was just a few weeks ago, and they were playing up at Hampshire Field on the turf. Got a natural grass field as the two teams get the explanation from the referee as to the ground rules. The two goalies will shake hands and head to their respective nets. And we will get underway here. Similar colors for the Rams of Oratory Prep and the Buccaneers of Blair. The Bucks will be in their home whites. Navy blue numbers and navy blue numbers with silver trim on the numbers. And Oratory Prep in their navy blue jerseys with the same matching shorts and the white numbers. JT Carell will be doing the face-off duties for Teddy Wenner's team as we get started here. And we're off and running here from Blairstown. Blair Academy winning. JT Carell, who won the draw, will set up the offense here for the Buccaneers, who will start from behind the net. And this shot go all the way up the hill. It'll stay with Blair. Patrick Morrison playing in his last game as a Blair Academy Buccaneer, a 4-year starter for head coach Wenner. And this year he's got 25 goals. He's the biggest offensive weapon for this Blair Academy team. Shot down low, and that one just goes off the mark. Max Thorsheim was camping out. Those are the kinds of goals that he does like to score. As what Coach Wenner said, he positions himself well in front of the net, but he did just miss from point-blank range. We are just about a minute into this one, as the first goal is scored by Blair. And it's Ned Siggety on the board. Score is 1-0 Buccaneers. As this faceoff will be won by Blair after the violation. So JT Carell wins the first two draws for the Buccaneers here. And it is 1-0 Blair, and they have possession. Morrison behind the net will swing it around. Wyatt Long, and back up top, Ned Siggety, who just scored the goal. Now Morrison, near goal line extended. Swings it back to Thomas Jenkins, the sophomore. Long. We'll find Morrison again. Patrick Morrison looking for the spin around shot, and this one will stay in play. A flag will come out. This is going to go against Oratory Prep. They'll have their first man up opportunity. So a delayed call. And a turnaround goal scored by Blair Academy. Wyatt Long putting the Buccaneers up 2-0. So a goal scored by Wyatt Long, a goal scored by Ned Siggety. The Blair Academy Buccaneers lead 2-0 here on their home field with 9:57 to go in the first half. Simon Rose, Chris Mendez along for the ride. Steady drizzle continues to fall here from Blair. And this is the first face-off won by Oratory Prep. So they look to get their offense started. This is Joel Pascuzzi, the attackman. And Brian Windish to Pascuzzi. And now Mark Mayashiro, the midfielder. Jake Contra will turn around. Contra on the far goal line extended. Back out to Mayashiro. He's guarded by JT Carell, is Mayashiro. Giving up about 4 or 5 inches on him as well. See Blair Academy very aggressive up top. They're going to try to play a little bit more out than they're used to defensively. Try to force Oratory Prep into some turnovers and get that pace up and running. As that's where the Buccaneers are at their best. So you'll see them play defense a little bit more pressure-oriented towards the perimeter than maybe they've done all season long. And all of this offense has come around the perimeter thus far for Oratory Prep. No shot just yet, but here's going to be one, and a goal scored. Very patient were the Rams, but their patience pays off into a goal. Jake Contra scores, the junior. And we get one more look here on the replay. Contra with a gorgeous spin move. And he's able to get the Rams on the board. So 2 straight goals to start for Blair Academy, answered by one by Oratory. So there is a 2-1 ball game here with 8:12 to go here in quarter number 1. And this one picked up by the Rams. Giacomo Fiorenza. This is Matthew Falcone, the attackman, being pestered heavily by the defenseman Cameron Kurtz, the senior defender for Blair Academy, a great defender for head coach Teddy Wenner. New to the sport. He played up to his freshman year and then took the sophomore and junior years off. He's come up and played in his senior season and doing a phenomenal job. $7:20 to go here in quarter number 1. It's still Oratory Prep with this offensive possession. Their second straight, and they scored on their most recent one. In fact, both offenses have been very efficient to start. As the Rams work from behind the net. And no room to shoot there for number 22, Mike Delorio, the midfielder. This ball loose and a ground ball picked up by Blair Academy and Brad Siggety. He's a sophomore from Pipersville, and the brother of Ned. And now Wyatt Long, who scored a goal early on in this game, and we've got a whistle. And a turnover against Blair Academy, and offsides, I believe, was the call. So it'll go back to the Rams of Oratory. Simon Rose here with you on the Strive Network. Only 2 more Blair Academy athletic events to be live streamed over the next couple days. And the Rams will score! Anthony Silvestri with a nice looking move. And we get one more look on the replay. A nice cock and fire by Anthony Silvestri. And he ties this one up at 2. And we have a timeout on the field. We get one more look at this replay as Silvestri scores. So a good start for Blair Academy, but an equally good response by Oratory Prep as they now have tied it up at 2. You got to look at Teddy Wenner there. He's in his 3rd season as the head coach. He's really liked the progress that this team has had this year. Now, obviously the record isn't what he wants. They're 4-11 this season. But the thing that has impressed Coach Wenner the most is the fact that even though they're 4-11 and they're not winning at a clip that you might expect a Blair Academy lacrosse team to, they're still coming out. They're working hard each and every day. The coaches are continuing to push them, and the players are open to those coaches continuing to push them. Coach Wenner said that you fear as a coach sometimes that when the team starts losing that the team will shut down, and that just hasn't been the case with this team. You see Teddy Wenner in the shirt and tie, also a part of the admissions office here at Blair Academy. And he has been very happy with the overall culture and mentality of the program this season. Said they're going to try to add a few more pieces to the puzzle for next year, and he feels that they'll be competitive once again. 2-2 the score in this game, 6:21 to go in the first quarter as the teams have taken the field after the timeout. And Blair scores quickly off the draw. JT Carell scores, and we get another look. How about that quick goal from JT? So Siggety scored one, Long has scored one, and Carell has scored one. 3 different goal scorers for Blair after a game where 7 different players scored. Just 15 seconds after the draw, the Buccaneers back on the board. And they lead once again 3-2. And this is a clean face-off won by Oratory Prep. And Giacomo Fiorenza. Man, that's a fun name to say, gotta say. So the Rams, once again down by 1, have the ball in their offensive zone. Here at the top, this is Anthony Silvestri just scoring a moment ago for the Rams. And Joel Pascuzzi, as this is a great save made. Pascuzzi had the shot, but the save made by Craig Carell, the goalkeeper for this Blair Academy team. And Carell will start from the back and off to Brad Siggety. Carell, sophomore goalkeeper. 150 saves, now 151 this year as Blair just throws it away. And Oratory Prep comes back in. Got to think that having a sophomore goalkeeper is an extremely exciting thing to think about if you're a Blair Academy fan. At the heart of every good program is a good goalkeeper, and to be a good goalkeeper, you got to start young. And Carell already with valuable experience in his freshman year and now sophomore year. Right on cue, he makes another good save. And the sophomore from Easton, Pennsylvania, will once again distribute. A high pass, but Thomas Jenkins went up for it. Jenkins also the quarterback of the Blair Academy football team. So the rain has stopped for a moment here in Blairstown. We hope that it stays that way for our computer's sake. As this is Patrick Morrison. Morrison, the leading goal scorer on the season, obviously hasn't scored in this game yet. Yet the key word. Morrison looking to pick up the ground ball. Instead, it's his teammate. And now Oratory Prep in possession. Timeout called here by Oratory Prep. He was falling out of bounds, was the Ram, but head coach Peterson of Oratory Prep was granted the call, much to the chagrin of the sideline over at Blair. So the teams will get together again, talk some things over. 3-2 the score with 3:41 to go. Let's recap what we've seen thus far. Blair Academy scoring the first 2 goals of the game. One by Wyatt Long, one by Ned Siggety. Made it 2-0. But then good response by Oratory Prep as they scored twice. Jake Contra and Anthony Silvestri tied it up at 2. Blair Academy right after that second goal scored by Silvestri put one in thanks to JT Correll, and that's where we stand now, 3-2. There you go. Get a look of the Oratory Prep Rams. They are 5-11 this year. And there's the head man on the sideline for Blair Academy. A former Blair Academy lacrosse player, used to be wearing this white jersey, and now he coaches it. And we get started again with just under 3:40 to go in the first quarter. 3-2 lead for Blair. And they come away with a turnover here as Jake Groves, the junior, able to step in front. Groves, a defensive midi from Riverside, Connecticut. Morrison doubled, and he'll get it back up to the top. Jack Mooney now will reset the offense. Up behind the net it goes, and here's Thomas Jenkins. To the top goes Siggety. And they swing it around the perimeter once again. Wyatt Long. Now with the lefty shot, and he bounces it home. A goal for Wyatt Long. That's number 2 on the game, and it is 4-2. Blair. We got one more look here. Siggety plants and fires low. Well done. Siggety, a guy that head coach Wenner said has dramatically improved his game since his freshman season. He's put in time and effort. And he's increased his confidence level, and he's become a threat for this Blair Academy team. As Oratory had a good chance, but they could not get the shot off. Matthew Falcone just whiffed. So the Rams will slow it down. Now down 4-2. Good play, and it goes off the post. Mark Miyashiro with a good cut to the middle, but he was denied by the cross pipe as this ball is fought for on the ground, and Wyatt Long and trying to do the battling for Blair Academy. And finally the whistle will blow as I think they kicked that ball all the way down to the sideline. We'll see whose possession it is. Looks like Blair's. And Max Thorsheim will get the restart. The attackman swings it over to Thomas Jenkins. He's bumped by Miyashiro and then just lofts it up. Dangerous area, and it almost trickled into the net. But the goalkeeper for Oratory Prep and Matt Lanigan able to pick it up. And Oratory will have possession. Another flashing Miyashiro. But it goes all the way back to midfield, and tight-roping that attack line was number 16, Jake Dyer. However, they called him on the violation, and Blair takes over. Ned Siggety. Up top, Thomas Jenkins. Jenkins again. And Ned Siggety finds a man in the middle. Saved away. Great save made by Lanigan. And Oratory Prep will restart here as they glide through midfield. Jake Contra will bring it into the offensive zone for the Rams. And the great save made. Mayashiro again flashing middle. But the goalkeeper and Craig Carell was able to make the save. Now a flag comes out, and this is going to go against Oratory Prep. Ball comes out of the stick with 9 seconds to go. And a man-up opportunity will be granted to Blair with just a few seconds left here in the first quarter. You got one more look. The flag came out. And once the possession is lost, that's when the whistle blows. So 9 seconds here for Blair. Score 4-2. Maybe looking to pad their lead before halftime. We'll have to work quickly. It's Patrick Morrison who's just going to run out the clock. And the Buccaneers will be content with a 2-goal lead after 1 quarter of play. So we take a step aside. Blair leading 4-2. All right, we start the second quarter with a lead for Blair Academy, 4-2. That guy got to be pretty happy, Teddy Wenner. They'll switch sides of the field. Blair will work from left to right here in the second. Morrison up top. Far side, and a shot is blocked. Good defense there by Oratory Prep. And Giacomo Fiorenza. The ball will go out of bounds, and Blair will have it. As Morrison will restart. Morrison very likely to be doubled throughout the game. Oh, a whipped-in shot goes into the cross of the goalkeeper. And Matt Lanigan. That was Thomas Jenkins with a good-looking attempt. But now the Rams able to clear away to the other side. Silvestri into the offensive zone, and they score to the Rams. Matthew Falcone puts it in. It's 4-3. That was quick counterattacking by Oratory Prep, as a great save was made by Lanigan, and then on the other end, Falcone scored. That's a two-goal swing there. As Lanigan's shot was headed for the upper 90, and it very well could have been a 5-2 game. Instead, 4-3. With 11-11 to go here in quarter number 2. And Oratory Prep will win this draw. They'll play it back. The long stick midfielder will come back and retrieve. It's Luke Delorio. Delorio playing up ahead to Fiorenza. And Fiorenza, I should say. Had it knocked out of his stick for a moment, but then retains possession and hands off to his teammate and Jake Contra. Behind the net goes Oratory. Brian Windish. And Mark Mayashiro. Now coming back to the near side go the Rams. As behind the net is Matt Falcone. Oh, Falcone with a beautiful move. Mayashiro almost was able to take it and throw it in, but it is now loose on the ground. And the Buccaneers defend away. Here's a foot race for Blair, and Thorsheim wins it. Well done by Max Thorsheim to win possession. And he bounces off players and gets a shot in there, but it is saved by Lanigan. And now the Rams try for an unsettled. In the middle, a ball goes off of the pipe once again. Second ball off the post for Oratory Prep. That one off the stick of Silvestri. Silvestri has it. And out far side, it is shoved out of the stick of number 15, Joel Pascuzzi. So they'll start from the back with the goalkeeper in Carell. 4-3 the score. 1-goal lead here for Blair Academy. And Tom Jenkins. Work it here into the corner for Long. And now Morrison will try to make his move in front of the net. Nothing's there. The defense by Jake Gieselman. So now Siggety will give it a go over Mayashiro. And now Morrison again behind the net. Jenkins will wind and fire, and it's high and wide. Backed up nicely by Blair, so they'll retain possession. And Siggety will restart. Here's Wyatt Long. He has scored 2 goals on this game as the senior attacker. He's going to go on and play next year. Hardwick is where he's from. Hartwick is where he'll play his college lacrosse. His brother, also a former Buccaneer of Blair Academy, plays there as well. So he'll follow in his older bro's footsteps and play alongside him at the college level at Hartwick. As this one does not get through, it bounces in there, but it hit off the back of, I believe, a Blair player in Wyatt Long. It was Siggety who attempted to score. As we've got about 7.5 to go in quarter number 2. Still a 1-goal lead for Blair Academy. There's a opportunity and a goal for Oratory. JT Carell, or no, excuse me, Brian Windish scores for the Rams, and it is tied up at 4 as we look at that replay, and I see Windish getting in and scoring. Second goal of the game for Windish. And there are 7 minutes and 16 seconds left. Ground ball scooped up by Oratory Prep. As they'll start from up top. Matthew Falcone behind the cage. Trying to feed it into the middle, and there is Carell making a great save. Windish again was right in front, a point-blank opportunity. And Carell has made a few really nice saves in this first half for Blair. So now Wyatt Long, as the Buccaneers try to stop this 2-goal streak by Oratory. Morrison for Long. And now in the middle, a quick snapshot attempted by Thorsheim, but defended well, and the ball loose on the ground, picked up by Blair. And it's going to be a penalty against Oratory. So a quick restart, no flag comes out. Long will restart here. They get it to Morrison near goal line extended. Morrison back to Long. Up top it goes to Rio Hito Shapiro. Here's Hito Shapiro. Back to Long near goal line extended. Behind the net, Pat Morrison. And Morrison left scoreless thus far. Long. Spinning back. And now Thorsheim. Good defense by Oratory Prep in the interior, so they whip it back out to the perimeter. Do the Bucks. Hito Shapiro has it knocked out of his stick. Able to pick it back up. It's guarded by Jake Dyer. And now it's Wyatt Long into the corner. As coming off is Hito Shapiro. And Siggety steps back in. Morrison's shot goes wide, but backed up by Blair. And they'll quickly restart as an errant pass goes out of the stick of Wyatt Long. It's a turnover against Blair. The Rams forcing it up ahead. Lots of contact, and that whistle will finally come. The penalty coming against Blair. Again, no flag, but Oratory Prep will quickly restart. Look for the unsettled situation, and they capitalize with a goal. Jake Contra scores goal number 2, and Oratory, as you get a look at the replay, has scored 3 in a row and have taken their first lead of this contest at 5-4. So we get one more look. There's 4:26 to go. This draw won by Blair. All right, spoke too soon, as the Rams are able to come up with it as they force the turnover. So Oratory Prep now with a 1-goal lead and the ball. Behind the cage it comes, and now to the near side in the corner. It's Brian Windish. Now Mike DeLorio. And the pace slowed to a walk here for Oratory Prep as they work it up top. Matt Falcone. Cross it comes, and here's DeLorio. Windish swings it around. And Windish gets it back behind the cage. Playing catch with a teammate, and now Mike DeLorio. This is Mark Miyashiro. And Matt Falcone. Blair staying at home defensively here. And Oratory Prep content to be very patient with their offense. 2:40 to go in the second quarter. Second quarter. 5-4 the score. Oratory leading. Silvestri now. Anthony Silvestri tries his move, goes near side. It was blocked away and picked up by Blair. Jake Groves looking for some space to clear it away. Well done by Jake Groves, also a football player. And looked very like a football player there as he looked for the open field and cut up. And his head coach, Ted Wenner, calls timeout. So we'll take a break as well. When we come back, 2 minutes to go in the second quarter. It's a 5-4 Oratory Prep lead. We got a restart here with 2 minutes to go in quarter number 2, and head coach Wenner's team is down 5-4 after starting the game with a 2-0 lead, and then they also had a 4-2 lead. But Oratory Prep has ripped off 3 straight. However, Blair will have possession here, and they'll have some time, 2 minutes to go in the half, to make sure they get a good shot before the half. Here's Long, back behind the net, Morrison. Long again to Morrison behind the cage. Quick passing and a shot goes just wide. Well set up though by Blair. Sigady's shot was wide. And there's 1:20 to go as they restart. Morrison coming to Thorsheim. Back to Pat Morrison, again playing in his final game of his long and successful Blair Academy career. He'll go on next year to play at George Washington University. Here he is, Morrison, dishing this time. It goes over the head of his intended target, Ned Sigady. Sigady fighting for it, but the ground ball picked up by Oratory Prep. And Jake Gieselman, the midfielder, clearing it ahead. A whistle will halt play, and it is a timeout for Oratory as they, similar to Blair just a few moments ago, will call timeout and try to set something up effectively for the final 40 seconds and likely the last offensive possession here of the first half. So again, 5-4 the score. We'll recap again as the first two goals of the game were scored by Blair Academy off the sticks of Wyatt Long and Ned Sigady. And then 2 goals scored by Oratory Prep to match those first two. Jake Contra and Brian Windish got on the board. Blair then scored 2 more to make it 4-2. JT Carell and Wyatt Long scored again. But since those 2 goals, it's been a 3-goal streak here for Oratory Prep. Another goal from Contra, another goal from Windish, and Anthony Silvestri as well got into the back of the net. So the score remains 5-4. Got other boys lacrosse on our Strive Network airwaves. The Prep B Boys Championship is currently being played. PDS hosting MKA in that game. That's live on Strive as well. And click over to that link if you so choose when we head to halftime here. And in just over 30 seconds, that's where we'll be, as Oratory Prep has a 1-goal lead, and they'll likely be content with that lead and hold for the last shot here. Delorio. Delorio feeding in front. And the buzzer sounds before Oratory gets a shot off. So that last offensive possession maybe left a little something to be desired for Oratory Prep. But they will be relatively happy with a 5-4 lead as we take one more look at the final seconds. And it looks like they did get that shot off right as the buzzer did sound. You got to look at it. Jake Contra and forced to make the save was Carell. So 5-4 the score as the teams will go into their huddles and break down the first half action, make some adjustments, as will we. We'll come back for the third quarter of play. You're watching live high school lacrosse on the Strive Network. Start of the second half here from Blairstown. Score 5-4 in favor of Oratory Prep. We'll put 12 minutes on the clock. We're underway here for the start of the second. Teams will once again switch sides, so it'll be Blair moving right to left. That's where they had more success. In fact, all 4 of their goals in this game came when they were shooting at this goal in the first quarter. And they will quickly get on the board here. And Pat Morrison, who was left scoreless in the first half, it doesn't take him long to get on the board here in the second. We take one more look as the senior doesn't want to go off with a poor performance, so he'll put the ball in the back of the net and score his first goal of the game, and it's a big one as it ties it up at 5, and we've got a brand new game here early in the second half. Before they face off here, they're going to wind some of the clock on the scoreboard to get the time right at 11:50. Yep, and now the time goes off on the scoreboard here, so some technical difficulties. There it is. You get a good look. Let's see the score right, 5-5, and now the time comes back. What is it, 10:50? Or is it 11:50? 10:50, all right. All right, 10:50 on the clock. And a face-off at midfield to come. And it is taken by Oratory Prep into the offensive zone. Unsettled situation, and an easy goal scored by Oratory Prep. Boy, that was quick. Let's take another look. As you saw the defender over there cheating up, and it just left number 15, Joel Pascuzzi, wide open for the goal. Just 15 seconds after the previous goal. Oratory Prep retakes the lead 6-5. So we've got a good one brewing from Blairstown. Another battle as it pops out of the cross and now high up into the air where Oratory Prep will take it down. And Anthony Silvestri will try to get down the right side. Here's Silvestri bringing it into the offensive zone. Long pass across, just off the mark as the ball rolls around and it's chased down by Oratory. And they will retrieve in the corner. It's Brian Windish. Now behind the net, the Rams have a glorious opportunity. Kick save made. And the save by Carell. Another point-blank opportunity for the Rams, and Carell makes another fine save for Blair Academy. But Oratory still with possession here in the offensive zone. As Windish is guarded by Pickett, Max Pickett, a senior from Culpeper, Virginia of Blair. Now up top, the defense provided by number 12, Kyle Gibson, here in the corner. And a turnaround shot is blocked away by Carell. It was Pascuzzi again. Pascuzzi was the one who just scored a moment ago for Oratory Prep. So we are under 9 minutes to go here in quarter number 3. It is a 6-5 game. Oratory with the lead. Each team scoring a goal in the third quarter. Up top it comes, and that one getting through the cross of Ned Siggety. So rolling around, and Oratory Prep picks it back up. Some sloppy play by Blair Academy. We've seen a number of unforced turnovers by the Bucks, and it has led to some offensive chances for this Oratory Prep team. And in turn, some goals as they get another opportunity here with 8 minutes to go in quarter number 3. Goals for Oratory from Jake Contra. He's got 2. Windish has 2. Anthony Silvestri and Pascuzzi each have 1. Goals for Blair Academy. Patrick Morrison on the board. He's the lone goal scorer here in the third quarter for Blair. Wyatt Long has 2. Ned Siggety has 1. And JT Carell also has 1. Behind the cage goes the Rams of Oratory Prep. Jake Contra will make his move on Jake Groves. And the defense does well to take possession away. And up the right side comes Cameron Kurtz, the senior defender for Blair. And now it looks like they will set up their offense. Up top it is Wyatt Long. Long spinning, back the other way he comes. Long lofting it down low, finding Morrison. Morrison spins. Now we'll try the other side of the cage. Whip it around to Tom Jenkins. And this shot from Long is backed up by Blair. Tom Jenkins. As Hito Shapiro steps back in. Subbing on the fly, the Buccaneers. Dropped for a moment and picked back up by Junhan Park. Morrison trying to set things up behind, finding Thorsheim. Now Park will reset. Wyatt Long. 6 minutes gone by here in the third quarter, so we are halfway done the third quarter. Not a lot of stoppages as Morrison looks to feed, and the pass is intercepted by Oratory. So on the counterattack go the Rams. They bring it into the offensive zone, get the shot on, and Carell able to scoop it up. And Carell lucky that the Bucks will retain possession, or for the moment, it's now another ground ball. Fought for and picked up by the Rams of Oratory. Will retreat into some open green. And secure possession as the Rams bring it into the offensive zone. Pascuzzi has it in the corner. Working all the way around, back to Pascuzzi. Around the perimeter, it comes to Mayashiro, playing catch at the top with Anthony Silvestri. Silvestri making his move on Park. Silvestri looking at the cage. No shot was there, so he passes behind. And now Matthew Falcone. As a good move was made by number 3, Brian Windish. He was able to get position and put the shot on, but Carell able to seal it off. And he'll clear up ahead. Kyle Gibson, the junior. shoved hard out of bounds. Very physical play by Oratory Prep, and it works to their advantage as they take over. Oratory Prep with a 1-goal lead, under 4 minutes to go in quarter number 3. Behind the cage, they'll work it back up to the line. And wide open underneath, Carell makes a point blank, great save, but Miyashiro is there to pick it back up. And this one will be whipped high and wide, as the Rams will maintain possession, 3:20 to go. That most recent shot from Mark Miyashiro. And here's Windish, who restarts. Oratory with an opportunity here. Miyashiro catches it in a dangerous area. Behind the back, it's a go for Oratory. Oh, that's Sports Center top 10-esque for Brian Windish as we get another look here. How about Miyashiro catching this in traffic? And then somehow, I think he tried to shoot that. And in the same motion of catching it, Windish receives and flips it in behind his neck into the goal. Oh, man. Sometimes you just got to tip your cap, and Windish made a phenomenal play there. As we get another good look at this one. Wow. Useful. Impressive stuff from Brian Windish, who will go to the face-off circle to try to win possession for his Oratory Prep Rams, who now have their largest lead of the game at 2 with 2 minutes and 56 seconds to go here in this one. Blair looking to respond. They need to be a little bit more aggressive. That's something that Coach Wenner has tried to stress with this team throughout the season, is being very opportunistic. At times, he says this team gets so content in their offensive sets and they get so focused on passing that when those opportunities to go and attack the net come, they often opt to take the more passive route. Well, sometimes you've got to take matters into your own hands and score the ball when the opportunity presents itself, and that's something that this team has tried to work on. And especially down by 2 goals here late in the third quarter, they've got to really take it into account. Pat Morrison has only scored 1 goal in this game. They've relied on him a lot this year, and that is an interception by Oratory Prep. What a play defensively by Luke Delorio in another unsettled situation. Caught high by Windish, and this shot in for a goal. Windish on fire for Oratory, and it is 8-5. This one a more traditional goal, but one for number 3 all the same. Did well to keep that one from going over his head. And again, a turnover by the Buccaneers is turned into a goal by the Rams. We got one more look at this one. A sidewinding shot finds the bottom portion of the net past Carell. And the Rams have the momentum. They also have the lead, 8-5. We're back in play. Blair does win another face-off, and that really hasn't been the issue here today. They've won their fair share. I don't have the official numbers, but it seems like it's been relatively even in that category. But Oratory has been able to settle down defensively. It's not where Blair's comfortable. Again, they're a transition team that scores a lot of their goals on the run. Save made there by the goalkeeper in Lanigan. Another ball loose as Blair tries to ride Oratory Prep and prevent the clear. Still loose along the far side, and the Rams will have this one roll all the way out. They'll save it back in play, and it is loosened to the midfield. And pops back into the defensive stick of number 13 for Blair, and Evan Grahowski, as Patrick Morrison was running the break, and I think maybe a penalty came in. Yeah, that's the call. There was a flag against Oratory Prep. So here's a great man-up opportunity for the Buccaneers. 26 seconds left as we get another look here. The flag went flying. It was a hold against Oratory Prep. That was the call. So 30-second man-up opportunity here for Blair. And they'll have just 4 seconds less than that here in the third quarter. So basically the entirety of this man-up opportunity coming at the end of the third. 15 seconds here for Blair to do some damage. Down by 3 goals. Here's a shot from Jenkins, and it goes right into the stick of Lanigan. Jenkins, the man-up specialist for this Blair team, but Lanigan makes another great save. This one knocked into some midfield ground, and Blair has it. The buzzer did sound, and that will do it for the end of the third quarter. But it was Oratory Prep who saw Blair score early on, just 15 seconds into the game, or into the third quarter, I should say. The Buccaneers scored to make it 5-5, but 3 straight goals by Oratory Prep, including a highlight reel goal behind the back by Brian Windish, has given the Rams a 3-goal lead as we head to the fourth quarter. Entertaining matchup here from Blairstown as we begin the fourth quarter. It'll be Blair with possession. There was some cheering going on the Blair sideline at the end of the third quarter. It was because they won the battle of possession here. So only 4 seconds left in the man-up opportunity. They'll have to attack quickly if they want to take advantage, and the man-up opportunity is now over. So the Buccaneers down by 3 as they get it into their playmakers' hands, and Pat Morrison. Wyatt Long up top, and a shot is high and wide by number 20, Ned Siggety. Siggety scored an early goal in this one, but he hasn't scored since. Senior from Pipersville, Pennsylvania. One of 4 seniors on this roster who will be playing in their final game as Blair Academy Bucks. Some good careers coming to an end here at the bowl this afternoon. Here's Long. Oh, he got the shot through. Not a lot of room there to get the shot on, but he was able to find a crease. However, it was wide, and Blair will retain. Behind the net, it's Morrison. Near goal line extended, and now back up top. The Bucks will retrieve here, and a battle is won by the Rams. As Oratory Prep works into a dangerous area, and a goal scored by Oratory. Joel Pascuzzi, goal number 2, as we get one more look here. Getting by his defender and Jack Saxton, the junior. And it is, again, the second goal scored by Joel Pascuzzi, as the Rams have opened up a 4-goal lead with 10:32 to go. So it's getting to that critical point in the game for Blair Academy. You're down by 4 goals. The comeback's going to have to start sooner rather than later. They got to pick up some momentum. It seemed like they had it to start the second half when Pat Morrison scored that goal. Yeah, but the Rams have consistently taken the momentum back and have maintained it. So each face-off that much more important. Nobody sees the ball until Oratory Prep does, and Luke Delorio picks it up. So Jake Contra slows the pace, and we expect that to be the case for Oratory for the remainder of this one, with a 4-goal cushion. Behind the cage, it is the Rams working. And a jump shot goes off the post. Comes right back into the stick of Joel Pascuzzi. It was Delorio who got the shot on, and then this one by number 15 in Joel Pascuzzi. Backed up by the Rams. And behind it comes for Oratory with number 3, Brian Windish, who will have the play to remember from this one. Even if Blair comes back, it's going to be tough to top that behind the back goal scored by Windish. With very little time to react during that play as well. Really impressive stuff from the attackman. This one getting through the stick, but right into the waiting cross of Delorio, who will get a shot on. Carell able to get a piece. And Blair overrunning it there, so that'll give Oratory a chance to maintain possession. They will do so with Mayashiro. As a quick 1-2 pass was not completed, as Jake Contra couldn't get the shot off. And a battle on the far side will warrant the whistle. It's going to go against Blair Academy, and Oratory Prep will have possession under 8 minutes to go now in this one. Near side here is JT Carell. Behind the cage, it was Carell who I believe get called for the violation. The defender of Blair. He's facing off against another number 3 in Brian Windish. That's the matchup here as Windish dishes off and they'll get a switch. Here's a fake shot, and then a real shot will turn into a goal for Oratory Prep. They continue to pour it on. That was Jake Contra with his 3rd of the afternoon, and it is a 10-5 game. Look at that great move by Contra, and then he is able to bounce it home. It's good stuff by Oratory Prep. Really gotten their feet under them as this game has gone along. It was much more evenly played earlier on, obviously. Blair even had that goal, or that lead, I should say, early on in the game. They were up 4-2. But the tide really started to turn in that second quarter where Blair didn't score. But Oratory scored 3 unanswered goals to make it 5-4. That was our lead at halftime for the Rams, and since then, it really has been mostly Oratory Prep in terms of the offensive opportunities. But here's Blair, not going down without a fight as they bring into the offensive zone. And Patrick Morrison slows the pace here in the corner. So fundamentally sound is Pat Morrison. That's what makes him such a great player. 4-year starter. He is a kid who plays by the book, is what his head coach, Ted Wenner, said. He does all of the little things right on the lacrosse field. It's a reason why he's going on to play at George Washington University next season. Here's a shot and a goal for Thomas Jenkins. A sidewinder that goes in. We get another look on the replay. Unorthodox shot. Looks more like a golf swing than a lacrosse shot for Thomas Jenkins. And he'll get the goal all the same. And in fact, Coach Wenner said of Jenkins, if there was an opposite to Pat Morrison in terms of orthodox and unorthodox ways to play, that the opposite would be Jenkins. If Patrick Morrison's by the book, then Thomas Jenkins kind of plays it by ear. And it's been a frustrating thing for the coaches sometimes. A lot of talent for Jenkins. But he doesn't always play in that textbook style that is sometimes warranted, but certainly has the capability of putting the ball in the back of the net as he just did. And remember, Jenkins also the quarterback of the football team, so a great athlete. And a lot on his athletic mind as an ongoing junior next year. Will be an important piece of the lacrosse program and the football program. And in fact, Coach Wenner said that he's got the opportunity, if he pursues it, to play 2 sports at the next level. Five and a half to go in this one. Blair has made it a 10-6 game. And they did win the draw, so have possession here. See if they can go on a little streak after that Jenkins goal. Up top it comes to Thorsheim. He's been left off the board, the sophomore attacker. Thorsheim now with it. Back up top, Wyatt Long. 2 goals in the first half, not in the second. In fact, Blair only 2 goals in the second half. 1 from Morrison and 1 from Jenkins, as you just saw. Back up top, it's Morrison. And this shot from Jenkins is off the mark, but backed up by Blair. Yeah, that's Jenkins' strength, is that very quick shot from, 15, 20 yards out. to the point. It is Morrison. Luke Delorio eyeing him up. Again, that's the matchup here as Morrison makes his move. Nothing there, goes back to the left side. And into a critical scoring area, but up top it goes for Ned Siggety. Good chance. The shot just got away from him. There you see 4:20 to go in this one. And this shot, not a ton on it from Thorsheim. He made a nice move, but easy enough for the goaltender. And Matt Lanigan. So we've just about 4 minutes to go in this one. As a shove from behind will draw the whistles. In fact, it wasn't the shove from behind. It's a timeout on the field with 3:58 to go in quarter number 4. It is a 4-goal lead for Oratory Prep. They lead 10-6 from the bowl at Blair. Mic check. Nothing. All right, good. Final 4 minutes of the Blair Academy and Oratory Prep lacrosse season. And you're watching it live here on the Strive Network. Simon Rose with you, Chris Mendez, our director. Fire truck has arrived here at Blair. See if we can get a look at that fire truck here. Sirens on. There she is. You can see him through the trees over there. I hope everything's all right. Well, we're back to the matter at hand. And that's the remaining 4 minutes or so of this lacrosse game. Ten to 6 the score. Oratory Prep will wind some more clock off with this offensive possession. And they will get a shot on, and Carell may have gotten a piece, but it goes wide, and it was Delorio, the attempter. But the Rams win the race to the line. And they go back up top to Mark Miyashiro. Here up top, it's Miyashiro again. Burst of speed, and he's taken down to the ground. Good defense by Pickett. Somehow Miyashiro maintains possession with 2:40 to go. And a wraparound try is sealed off right there by Carell. We'll have to work quickly. And it's raked through, and Blair has it, an odd man opportunity. Thorsheim brings it in and is forced behind the cage. Just over 2 minutes to go. The Bucks down by 4, need some quick goals and then some face-off wins. If they've got a shot, it's Wyatt Long. Here's a shot from Jenkins, a low shot, and another good save made by Lanigan. He's been good in this one, very solid, and not a lot of rebounds either for the Oratory Prep goalkeeper, who will call for it here and restart from the back as he comes out of the goal crease. He forces it up ahead, and gets it up ahead to Delorio. And a successful clear by Oratory Prep might be the dagger here for Blair Academy. So the Rams again with it, and a shot will go in for Oratory Prep again. It is Brian Windish who scores, and that might be the nail in the coffin as you see Windish getting through and scoring. That makes it 11-6. An impressive performance by Oratory Prep here in this one as there is 1:17 to go. And the remaining moments for Blair will just be to play for pride here in this 2015-2016 season. Again, not a season that, if you look at the record, they'll be too happy about. They'll end 4-12, will the Bucks, but you got to think that there were some positives, as we mentioned earlier, that Teddy Winter told me before the game. And the way these kids have competed, a lot of young kids, and they're confident that they'll fill in the pieces next year and have a good opportunity. As here's a good opportunity, but JT Carell could not finish. And Oratory Prep has possession. Rams work it to near goal line extended. And now work to the other side. 15 seconds to go. Oratory Prep will run out the time here. They're going to improve to 6-9 on the season. As the buzzer sounds, Oratory Prep comes away with the victory. They'll mob their goalkeeper after the win, who played really well here today, giving up only 6 goals. That was Lanigan, Matt Lanigan, the senior goaltender for Oratory Prep. And on the other side, a few really incredible Blair Academy players. Their careers will come to an end, including number 14, Patrick Morrison, one of the best over the last few years here for this Blair team. Wyatt Long also saying so long. Ned Siggety, the senior as well. And Cameron Kurtz, all playing in their last games as Blair Academy Buccaneers as the team brings it in. And a good season for the Bucks, even though it's not a great way to end it, losing 11-6. So that'll do it for our coverage here on the Strive Network until Friday, where we see another lacrosse game up at Hampshire Field as the ladies of Blair Academy will take on the ladies of Kittatinny. That's coming up for you live at 7 o'clock on Friday night. Until then, we say so long. For Chris Mendez, my director, I'm Simon Rose. Thanks for joining us, everyone.